Howdy, Super Monkey Cube here, and this will be my second cube in a series on improvements over the original made by others. This is a DaYan. I think my wife said this is the Loosey Goosey cube. I didn't zing the box in here, but I think this is a case where the cube, the logo is big enough that you can kind of see it, and the cube kind of speaks for itself. This is the motion of it is just fantastic, especially for quarter turns and stuff with adjacent face turns. I mean, you can have the thing slightly misaligned and it still turns without, much trouble. Obviously, if you lock it, but for the most part, it's hard to actually lock it for efficient turning. But it turns fairly quick and smooth even under adverse conditions. I'm only turning two adjacent faces here, but obviously I can turn anything and still the whole thing moves fairly fast. Now size-wise, how it compares to a regular Rubik's Cube, it is nominally the same. I think the DaYan is just barely taller, and I mean, it's just barely. And let's see, compared to our buddy the Zontik cube, which I thought I would bring out again, it is also just barely taller than that. So I'm guessing the Zontik and the regular Rubik are the closest to the same size. But even they're not exact. But obviously, like the Zontik, its adjacent face turns are just, you can't really do a 2-in-1. There's no amount of force that I could apply to this face to get it to turn after I did the first one, because without all the little metal things aligning perfectly, you kind of have to take your hand here and as you're turning it, feel how it's lined up to be able to turn the next face. With the DaYan, and the other thing that I really like about this DaYan cube is that any face turn, and even if you have things well aligned, the amount of force required to make the thing go is a lot less than even a regular cube. You can hear that the regular cube is louder just as a result of more friction and more stuff happening when you're turning the cubes. But the DaYan, you'll see that in the intersections here, where it's cut out bigger, they've kind of rounded the corners off, and inside it's hard to see, but there's grooves and things to make it kind of line up more, and the centerpieces have kind of more of a funnel shape to them. So and the spring is fairly substantial. The other nice thing about the DaYan cubes, if I can show it to you, is that all the centerpieces have a pop out, and you've got a Phillips screw head here so that you can adjust the spring tension like on the really fancy cubes. And the DaYan's not really that much more expensive than a regular Rubik's Cube, and a regular Rubik's Cube should run you about $10 these days, at your local Walmart. And I think DaYans are going for somewhere in the ballpark of $15, but I gotta say it's just a magnificent cube by comparison. This is the part where the experienced cubers can laugh at me for being super slow, especially since I'm doing, to me, the unfamiliar corners first, or the layer solution, when I would normally do corners first. But it is just fantastically easy to turn, and just super comfortable all the way around. Let's see, and there are some things that are, there's some algorithms on this cube that are just fantastic to do, and they're easy to do. And on the regular Rubik's Cube, maybe not so much. There's all the faces are very regular and smooth. There's nothing to make things line up. It's fairly plain and simple, but it's not as efficient as somebody that's taken the time to see that there's maybe a better way to do it. So hats off to the DaYan guys. It's a fantastic cube.